What's going on, guys? Bexio back, and today we got a brand new video, this time about Canada and their new policies with their Emergencies Act, or Emergencies powers that they've done, that we've all kind of seen playing out the last couple of days, and that the bank run might be happening because of that. And time will tell what actually happens and what goes on here, but it is looking kind of crazy in Canada right now. But before we jump into that, if you are not subscribed, make sure to smash that sub button because we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. But Canada having a massive problem with their banks, and it all stems from this right here, this video of the announcement, them talking about doing their Emergencies Act and basically treating every single person who donated money as a terrorist. And I mean, you can see how that's kind of a little crazy. So, obviously, people getting worried about their bank accounts, about their money. In this saying themselves, they talk about how they can freeze your money without a judge's approval or any warrant type stuff, without anything, and just kind of do as they please. And a little bit of an overreach of power. This sums it up pretty good here. Talking about, in other words, the law is whatever they want. I mean, yeah, basically true for every government. And terrorists are literally anyone at all. They would deem it better to have no money. Uh, yeah, basically anyone who's against something that they want to be for. So you can be labeled a terrorist, and then they can do whatever they want with you. They can freeze your assets, freeze your bank accounts, freeze your money, do whatever they want. The limits of political power are non existent. Basically, if every single bank will just do whatever the government wants, then those are state banks, those are government banks. And you can see the problem there becomes a very big problem very quickly when the government can tell all the banks what to do, start telling private business what they can and can't do, and you can see the problem getting pretty bad pretty quick, especially when you throw money into that mix. And the last point, will do anything and everything they say, and they can call any situation an emergency. So, I mean, all things we kind of already knew. The government going a little crazy, and Canada's government really going crazy with the money freezing stuff. That's the most insane part, is freezing people's bank accounts because of donations, and that they can tell these private businesses and banks what to do, and saying you can and can't allow this person to do something or these people to do things. It just gets pretty into a pretty gray area, and a pretty bad gray area, all of that. But this is what everyone is talking about, the runs on the bank, if they're happening. You can see these are bank outages for Canada. So you see this massive spikes in, we got this bank, the next bank, massive spike, a third bank with a yet another massive spike, and a fourth bank as well, massive spikes with outages, meaning there's probably tons of people going to these banks trying to either withdraw money, move money, trying to do something, and it is overriding or too much for these banks to handle. And that's just what happens. So we can see this already happening. The banks start to get a little bit of cracks in the system, and it doesn't take that much to actually cause a big problem, like a run on the bank. If people run to the bank to pull out their money, it doesn't even take that many people to actually do that. If 5% of people go to the bank to pull out their money, that could really collapse the entire system and ruin everything for the 95% of people, because that's just how fragile the banking system is. And then compared to something like Bitcoin, because obviously that's going to be drugged into the conversation here, that they can say it's fragile and all this stuff and volatile, but when it comes to it, if there's a run on Bitcoin and people want to leave Bitcoin, they want to sell it, they want to get rid of it, they can do that. We saw it the last couple of years, the price gets cut in half, but Bitcoin doesn't shut down. You can buy Bitcoin, you can sell Bitcoin, you can transact Bitcoin, you can send it somewhere, receive it somewhere. All of the chaos is breaking loose. It doesn't shut down. and crumble and crack if a small percentage of people get scared and there's a run to get out of the asset. That doesn't happen, but it can very easily happen with banks. Even more stuff, the bank run Canada, someone's talking about, but saying this is the game theory of a bank run is pretty scary when the financial system is so insanely leveraged. Even if only 5% of people participated, the remaining 95% are screwed. This is basically what you just said. If just 5% of people went out and did a run on the banks, ran and pulled all their cash out, it screws the rest of the people because the system just can't handle it. Because of fractional reserve banking, banks don't even actually have the money on hand. They don't actually keep basically almost any of that money on hand for people. They have it all loaned out. They have different kinds of reserves and things they have to follow, but the money isn't there. And there's a lot of things people talking about the money. It's not really your money. It's just the government's money. Like if they can freeze it, if they can take it, if they can do whatever they want with it, then it's not yours. It's the government's that they just let you use until they decide not to let you use it anymore. And it just seems like the entire world has been a great commercial for Bitcoin recently, with just so much stuff going on with Russia loving Bitcoin, starting to look into Bitcoin, adopt it, really like it. And you have Canada hating Bitcoin. They have gone after Bitcoin specifically to try and say these Bitcoin addresses that are for the truckers has to be shut down. And people are already telling other people what they can do to get around all this stuff. And it's just getting really crazy. And the entire world basically showing why you need this money outside of someone else's power, because if no one can control it, that's the best means, where no one can freeze your Bitcoin, no one can take it, no one can force you to do anything with it, and they can't create more, they can't do anything at all. They just have no power over it. And the separation of money and government is a pretty big deal. And you see Plan B tweeted out talking about Canada being the next Cyprus moment for Bitcoin. Talking about in 2013, price of Bitcoin shot up when the Cyprus financial crisis led to fears of a run on the banks. So even if a run doesn't take place or hasn't yet, even just the fear of one is enough to create enough problems. So we can, only time will tell, obviously. We have these same charts here with the outages, and gonna be crazy to see if people or a run on the banks actually happens, and if something actually crumbles or the financial banking system crumbles over this, and seeing people really have to revert to Bitcoin because they just don't have any other option. They don't have something else where you can get your money out somewhere. So that's another problem with Bitcoin, or a problem with what we're seeing right now. If someone wanted to move their money out of Canada, or say they're worried about what Canada's doing, they want to move their money out of Canada, it's very difficult to do that with fiat, with even gold. If you have gold stored somewhere in Canada or enough gold, you'd have to physically ship it out or try and get permission from the bank to let you do something with your money. If you had it in Bitcoin, you just send it away, send it to another wallet address, and there you go, you're done. And no hassle, nothing was hurt, everything just works as planned. And even right now for Bitcoin, it's red candles, so we're seeing it move down on whatever the news could be going on, anything that could be going on. Who knows what's actually causing a lot of this stuff, but there's a lot going on in crypto, in geopolitics, in stocks, in finance, in everything. So it is a lot of craziness happening. So volatility to be expected in everything. So nothing to really take away there. The price, 42K, it has a big down red candle here. Still in this red channel. Who knows what will happen, but it really seems like the entire world is just a commercial for Bitcoin right now. And we'll see how it all plays out and see what happens in Canada, in Russia, in everywhere, if they adopt Bitcoin, or if they realize they can't stop Bitcoin. So time will tell, and we'll see how everything plays out. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. As always, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and see you guys in my next video.